given the fact that his notes are the most comprehensive, are there people, perhaps, who had a bigger role in the shaping of the Constitution than his notes reflect? I mean, who in a sense, are the losers?
Yeah, because of his notes?
Because of his notes.
Yeah. So I think there's a sort of a good person and I suppose a person complicated. The complicated person would be Charles Pinckney, who's you know, a huge slaveholder, determined that slavery would be just completely embedded in the Constitution. His cousin, General Pinckney, only speaks to ensure that slavery lives forever. And Madison eventually scored those sections out, blacked them out so completely that you can't read them. If I ever get a second chance with the Library of Congress, they have equipment that could read those. Maybe you guys can persuade the library to use their special technology and read those. But Pinckney was given a much smaller role than he had. The person who was also given a smaller role that I think is more unfortunate is Gouverneur Morris of Pennsylvania. Morris fascinated Madison. Morris was a fascinating figure in all sorts of respects, but he spoke passionately against slavery. He's the person who probably spoke the most passionately against slavery, and he actually, in some ways, predicts the Civil War. He says that this division between North and South, between places with in slavery and not having slavery, that is a fundamental problem. And Madison writes that speech down, but doesn't give Morris a lot of credit along the way. Late in his life, in his 80s, Madison grew more understanding of what had happened at the convention. And Madison eventually says that the person who really wrote the final Constitution was Morris. The last draft of the Constitution looks the way we understand the Constitution, with 7 major articles. But the draft before that had 22 articles. So the Constitution didn't look anything like how we understand it. And Madison, late in his life, says it was Morris who basically took all these disparate sections and regrouped them into the way we understand the Constitution.
We also